What's your take on the media and how they treat players? Because I had a little bit of an awakening moment. A really good friend of mine, Matt Murray, he absolutely changed my life. I love the dude.
Yeah.
And I had the privilege of, he texted me earlier last year. He said, dude, I'd love to do a podcast. Let's get it done. I said, okay, cool. Come down. And I knew to some degree there'd be a lot of people in the media that would pick up on this because you're interviewing the goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then fast forward a month or two, episode goes up, and I have Google Alerts turned on for our show. So like when different media outlets and whatnot, they repost stuff,
Yeah.
I get an email. And then I started getting these emails with all these links and some of the spin jobs the media did of how Matt Murray manipulates the salary cap, this, that, and I'm reading some of these, and I can't actually believe how far they'd stretched this. So, like, what's your take on how the media treat players and just some of the spin jobs that they do? I know it's a little bit of a,
No, 100, you're 100%. That's the hard part. You can take two words, right, of a sentence, then they tack on their 10 sentences on the back, or that's the spin job. And then, obviously social media, on the 24-hour bus rides from Seattle to Swift Current, there was no no cell phones, or my Discman only, the 4 double D batteries only last about 2 hours, and played a little Kaiser in the back and slept. We didn't have to worry about that. Unfortunately, you can't control them, but the tighter niche room that you have and the communication with the coaches and management know where they stand. I think is a bigger key now than it ever was, because of all that outside influence and the stories and the manipulating of the cap and this injury and that injury. Being for myself, in Vancouver, my last year is year Anaheim beat us in the second round. I hurt my back, right before game one, the day before game one, right to the media, told the media what I did. Yeah. Dropped a cracker, threw my back out. Yeah. True story. Oh, and you went and told the media, right? Now everybody's wearing. Now the biggest joke: go on eBay, you'll find the cracker. I've had I've had 3 herniated discs in my back, since I was in grade 8. So the wrong move, right? I'd go grab my cell phone, and that's what I did. But he threw me down the river right before the playoffs, right? Game 1. Can't stand the guy. That tells me where I stood with him and the organization. Now let's go back to if somebody's got your back, as an organization, team, and coaches, internally. That's all. You need to know that, and those things don't happen.
you think that the media would be able to get more out of the players if, like, just to use a couple examples, like that scumbag Mark Spector in Edmonton where he's calling Leon, he's like, why are you so pissy with me all the time? Or that dirtbag Steve Simmons who's trying to pull up Austin Matthews, like medical reports, and put him in the Toronto Star. If you didn't do that and you're more honest, because they're so dishonest, these members of the media, you would get more from the players and they kind of like let that guard down and everybody would win a lot more, right?
100%. Just like you said, hold the door for a lady in the morning. You say good morning. Good morning. Hope you have a great day. You may say that little lady's life. You don't know what she's going through. Couldn't agree more. The more that you want to go and manipulate and try and screw guys, the more you're screwing all the teams, and there's 31 other teams, and 800 other guys. I couldn't agree more. The more respectful you are to them, the more you're going to get back from them, and the more you're going to get of them. Couldn't agree more.
Hey, if you enjoyed what you just saw, we do new clips every single day, twice a day on the Clips channel. You see clips right here. And beside Dave's crotch, we have a full-length show every single Sunday, right by my hand.
Click right here.